This is a Minnesota offensive running play against Rutgers defense in the first half, just over halfway through the second quarter. This is going to end up being an inside zone read running play. And so I'm going to go through the blocking assignments, and I'm going to take a look at how the defense defended this play. And then I'm going to go through and actually look at some passing play options versus this defense. So it might be a little bit longer video than usual, but I'm going to go through it twice just to look at some different things. So first off is this play was actually audibled. So I believe the play was called a pass in the huddle, and the quarterback checks to a run, which is a good audible because you have 6 defenders in the box against 6 blockers. So I think first off, that's why it was called an audible. Um, as I said, it's an inside zone read running play, so the handoff's going to happen right here. All of these offensive linemen are going to zone reach block the play side or right side gap. This H-back is going to block back, and what he's looking for is an end defender in the line of scrimmage, or he's looking for one of these defensive linemen coming through, and he actually ends up helping on this backside defensive end because Rutgers ends up pinching these fronts or a backside defensive tackle and defensive end. So this slot receiver is going to come down and he's going to make an attempt at blocking this outside linebacker. And if he's not able to get there, then he goes to the second level and attempts to block on the safety. So if we look at the second snapshot here, you can see the handoff is occurring front side here. You've got the guard and tackle on the front side, both on defensive linemen. You can see this is the H-back coming back, and again, he's going to end up helping on this defender here. You can see that Rutgers pinches their defensive lineman, tackle and defensive end in, and so that's where you're going to have help on this backside defensive end. And this backside guard is going to come through. He's uncovered, and so he's going to try to make a block on the second level and block a linebacker. On the next frame, you can see this is the H-back, so he's helping out on this pinching defensive end. This is the outside linebacker. You can see the slot receiver, once he sees the numbers on the back of this defender, he knows he can't make a legal block on that. So he's going to come up. You can see him just starting to turn up and make a block on the safety. This is the uncovered guard on the backside, and he's turned back because he's trying to get a block on this backside linebacker. And if we go to the next frame, you can see there was a frontside linebacker was unblocked. So the moment the running back sees that, he's going to start looking for a cutback. So he looks back, and you can see that this is the backside outside linebacker who the slot receiver wasn't able to get to. He's coming up to make a block on the safety. So the running back sees an unblocked play side linebacker, and then he looks back and sees an outside linebacker. So he keeps it tight and just goes north and south. You can see this is the backside inside linebacker. The guard wasn't able to get to him because of the pinching defensive lineman. He tried to come back and wasn't able to reach him. So you've got 3 defenders here unblocked. And so the running back just keeps it north and south and ends up getting 3 or 4 yards, even though you've got 3 defenders here either unblocked or blocked uncleanly. So he makes of it what he can. If we go back and take a look at the schemes here, we can talk about how it was defended and how you might have success in this play. So because these defenders were pinched inside, you can see these linebackers are looking to defend against the zone. They see this H-back coming back. And so a couple things. One play that worked well for the Gophers offense for most of the game was the pin and pull. So that would be you would have the guards actually pull out on an outside run play, and that would have worked well because these linebackers are sort of cheating inside because, again, you've got a pinch happening here. So that's one option. The other is this outside linebacker, and I touched on this in an earlier video, is key to playing the run. So although you only have 6 defenders in the box to match up against 6 blockers, the key is if this outside linebacker is playing tight enough where he can defend the run, then you need to make an adjustment and come back. And I'm going to go back to the pre-snap frame. Take a look at it this way. Again, if he's lined up where he can play, he's essentially the 7th defender in the box. So you're +1 in the box at that point. If that's the case, you need to come back and throw a bubble screen or a swing pass, pitch and catch to this slot receiver, because that means this deep secondary player is going to have to make that tackle, and you're going to end up with at least 6 yards, if not more, on that. If he's lined up in an area where he can play both, so he can defend the run, but he can also play the bubble or the swing pass, then this slot receiver has to make his split wider. So he just gets wider and wider split out until you're forced this defender to make a pre-snap determination that he's either going to line up tight enough where he's able to defend the run, in which case you run bubble, or if he comes out and lines up on the slot receiver with wide splits, then you come back and run inside because you've got good numbers inside. So a couple of options there. In the passing game, because this defender ends up being a run defender, some options you can look at are this corner actually lines up like he has no safety help. He's lined up with inside leverage here, making it look like he has to force the receiver outside. He's actually going to jump outside on the snap because he does have a safety back here for help. And then at the bottom of the screen, actually off the screen, is a wide receiver that's split out, and he has a defender on him. That's the 11th defender who you can't see. So if we take a look at the second frame and clear this up, you can see this corner is jumped outside. So he's now playing with outside leverage, and he's doing that because he knows if this wide receiver gets downfield that he has safety help. So he's covering everything outside. He's forcing it inside because he has help. So with this defender playing run and this safety helping out potentially on a deep route from this wide receiver, what your passing combinations you want to look for are sending this slot receiver on a deep route to the middle of the field would be one option, because then you're forcing the safety to either double this wide receiver or come down and double the slot. And what you do is you throw to the opposite where you have one-on-one coverage. The other option is the wide receiver that's split out at the bottom and off the screen. You can also run him on a deep route, and again, force this safety to pick one of the, if you run 3 deep, he's got to pick one of 3. If you run 2, he's got to pick one of 2. So you're just looking for reading the safety, and whichever receiver he chooses to help with, you throw opposite of that. So again, the key here is this outside linebacker. If he's playing run, you're going to open up some things in the passing game, either a bubble screen, a swing pass, or if you run at least 2 receivers on deep patterns, you're going to force the safety to pick one, and you're going to have one-on-one coverage deep on at least one pattern.